Lionel Johnson, the first son. Lionel Johnson was raised on Caliban, a world of deep forests and monstrous beasts. From childhood, he learned secrecy, survival, and cunning, growing into a warrior both brilliant and reserved. His legion, the Dark Angels, became knights of order and discipline, striking with relentless precision. During the Horus Heresy, the Lion stayed loyal to the Emperor, yet his legion was plagued by betrayal within their own ranks, a wound that would haunt them for millennia. Though the Lion vanished into the rock after the heresy, his legacy endures in mystery and vigilance, a shadowed guardian waiting to return. Fulgrim, the Perfect One. Fulgrim was found on Kamos, a dying world where perfection was the only path to survival. From his earliest days, he pursued beauty, mastery, and flawlessness. His legion, the Emperor's children, shared his obsession, priding themselves on excellence in war. But this pursuit led to their downfall. Fulgrim succumbed to the temptations of Slanesh, betraying his father and embracing excess. He now endures as a demon prince, his name a reminder that the quest for perfection can lead to utter corruption. Perturabo, the Iron Warrior. On Olympia, Perturabo grew bitter under tyranny, honing his mind to solve every fortress, every puzzle of war. His Iron Warriors reflected him perfectly, masters of sieges and unbreakable defenses. Yet his victories brought little gratitude, only resentment, until he joined Horus in rebellion. In the heresy, Perturabo turned his genius against the Imperium, breaking walls he once swore to defend. His fate is sealed in bitterness and ruin, remembered as a builder who chose destruction. Jaghatai Khan, the Warhawk. The Khan was raised among the steppes of Chogoris, where speed and freedom defined life. He grew into a lightning-fast warlord, commanding loyalty with his unshakable spirit. His white scars embodied his nature, swift, ferocious, and untouchable, striking before the enemy could react. Unlike many brothers, Jaghatai remained true to the Emperor during the heresy, hunting traitors with merciless precision. In the end, he pursued his enemies into the warp itself, vanishing into legend, a rider no cage could hold. Leman Russ, the Wolf King. Born on Fenris, a world of ice and monsters, Leman Russ grew as savage as the wolves who raised him, yet fiercely loyal to the Emperor. His space wolves embodied feral strength, a brotherhood of hunters who fought with unmatched fury. During the heresy, Russ became the Emperor's executioner, sent even against his own kin when ordered. After the war, he vanished on his final hunt, leaving behind the promise that he would return in the Imperium's hour of need. Rogel Dorn, the Praetorian. On the icy world of Inwit, Rogel Dorn rose with discipline and resolve, a man of stone and steel. His imperial fists were reflections of him, unyielding, indomitable, masters of defense. During the heresy, Dorn became Terra's shield, fortifying the imperial palace against Horus's assault. He survived the war, but never wavered in duty, fighting until his final battle in space where he was lost. Dorn's name endures in every fortress that still defends the Imperium. Konrad Kurzi, the Night Haunter. Konrad Kurz was born into terror, raised in the shadows of Nostramo, a world of crime and cruelty. From the start, he ruled through fear, becoming both executioner and tyrant. His Night Lords carried his philosophy, spreading dread as a weapon, breaking enemies long before battle began. In the heresy, Kurz sided with Horus, convinced that doom was inevitable. Haunted by visions of his own death, he welcomed fate, slain by the assassin Mishen, leaving behind only horror and prophecy fulfilled. Sanguinius, the Angel. On the irradiated world of Baal, Sanguinius was born with angelic wings, a figure of hope and compassion among desolation. His blood angels reflected his grace, noble warriors who fought with both fury and elegance. During the heresy, he stood at the Emperor's side, leading with unmatched courage at the siege of Terra. Boarding Horus's flagship, he confronted the War Master and fell in single combat, his sacrifice giving the Emperor the chance to strike. Sanguinius's death became the Imperium's most enduring tragedy, and his memory a beacon of hope. Ferrus Manus, the Gorgon. Ferrus Manus grew up on Medusa, harsh and unrelenting, where only strength endured. His hands, fused with living metal, symbolized his nature as a craftsman and warrior. His iron hands mirrored this philosophy, unyielding, cold, and relentless. In the Heresy, Ferrus stood loyal, leading the charge against Horus's forces at Istvan V. But there, he met his end. Slain by Fulgrim, the brother he once called friend, his death left his legion shattered, but his name endures as a martyr of loyalty. Angron, the Red Angel. Angron's life was chains and blood. On Nuceria, he was forced into the Butcher's Nails, implants that drove him into endless rage. His World Eaters carried that fury into war, tearing apart enemies in berserk slaughter. When the Heresy came, Angron turned willingly to Horus, embracing Khorne as his true master. His ascension into demonhood sealed his fate, transforming him into a creature of eternal rage and carnage. Robut Guilliman, the Avenging Sun. Robut Guilliman was raised on Macragge, a world of order and civilization. A brilliant statesman and warrior, he built the realm of Ultramar into the Imperium's shining example. His Ultramarines embodied discipline, adaptability, and efficiency, becoming the largest and most stable legion. In the Heresy, Guilliman stayed loyal, rebuilding order after devastation. Though struck down by Fulgrim's poisoned blade, he was preserved in stasis until his miraculous return in the Imperium's darkest age. Today, Guilliman stands as the last loyal Primarch leading mankind. Mortarion, the Death Lord. On the toxic world of Barbarous, Mortarion grew among poisons and decay, raised by a monstrous overlord until he turned against his master. His death guard reflected his endurance, built to outlast any horror of war. In the Heresy, Mortarion sided with Horus, but his legion was consumed by plague, enslaved to Nurgle. Mortarion himself was transformed into a demon prince, an eternal carrier of pestilence and despair. Magnus the Red, the Crimson King. Magnus, born with a single burning eye, was a master of psychic power from the beginning. On Prospero, he built a world of learning and sorcery, guiding his 1,000 sons as seekers of forbidden knowledge. His loyalty was undone when, in trying to warn the Emperor of Horus's betrayal, he shattered the barriers of the warp. Condemned and betrayed, Magnus turned fully to Tzeentch, becoming the Crimson King, the embodiment of sorcery's price. Horus, the War Master. Horus Lupercal was the Emperor's most trusted son, the first among equals, and War Master of the Great Crusade. His Luna Wolves were symbols of loyalty and strength, loved by all who served under them. But pride and corruption turned him, and Horus became the architect of the Heresy. In the final battle, he faced the Emperor aboard the Vengeful Spirit. Struck down in shame, his death marked the end of the dream of unity and the birth of 10,000 years of war. Lorgar, the Word Bearer. On Kolkis, Lorgar grew as a prophet, seeking gods in every shadow. His word bearers became missionaries of faith, spreading worship across the stars, despite the Emperor's command to reject it. Shamed by his father's reprimand, Lorgar turned to the warp, discovering the Chaos Gods and embracing them as divinity. It was Lorgar's betrayal that lit the fire of the Heresy, making him the true architect of mankind's damnation. Vulcan, the Immortal. Vulcan was born among fire and death on Nocturne, where survival demanded both strength and compassion. He forged weapons of war but never lost his humanity. His salamanders were the most empathetic of all legions, fighting for the people as much as for victory. Vulcan stayed loyal in the Heresy, enduring countless battles and even death itself. His perpetual nature made him unkillable, and his legacy endures as the most human of the Primarchs. Corvus Corax, the Raven Lord. Corax rose from the prison moon of Lycaeus, where he became a liberator, striking from shadows to free the oppressed. His Raven Guard embodied stealth, precision, and surgical strikes, masters of guerrilla war. In the Heresy, his legion was nearly destroyed at Istvan, betrayed by Horus's trap. Broken but unyielding, Corax swore vengeance, vanishing into the darkness, a shadow stalking the enemies of mankind. Alpharius and Omegan, the Hydra. The final Primarchs were twins, Alpharius and Omegan, kept hidden from their brothers until the time was right. Their Alpha Legion became masters of deception, misdirection, and hidden truths. During the heresy, their role was shrouded in mystery. Some say they sided with Horus, others claim a deeper plan was at work. Their final fate is unknown, their legacy a riddle with no clear answer. The Hydra endures, many-headed, impossible to kill.